Apocryphon of Ezekiel, fragment 6. A certain king had everyone in his kingdom drafted, and had no civilians, with an expectation of two, one lame and one blind. And each one lived by himself in his own home. And when the king was preparing a wedding feast for his own son, he invited everyone in his kingdom. But he despised the two civilians, the lame man and the blind man. And they were indignant within themselves and resolved to carry out a plot against the king. Now the king had a garden, and the blind man addressed the lame man from a distance, saying, "How much would our crumb of bread have been among the crowds who were invited to the celebration? So come on, let us retaliate against him for what he did to us." "How?" asked the other. And the blind man said, "Let us go into his garden, and there ruin the other things in the garden." But the lame man said, "But how can I, for I am lame and unable to crawl?" And the blind man said, "I am I able to do anything myself, since I am unable to see where I am going? But let us use trickery." Plucking the nearby grass and braiding a rope, the lame man threw it to the blind man and said, "Grab it, and come here to me by rope." And he did as he had urged. When he neared, the lame man said, "Come here, you be my feet and carry me, and I will be your eyes, guiding you from on top to the right and to the left." So by doing this, they went down into the garden. And whether they did any damage or not, nevertheless their footprints were visible in the garden. Now, when the celebrants dispersed from the wedding feast, going down into the garden, they were surprised to find the footprints in the garden. So they reported these things to the king, saying, "Everyone in your kingdom is a soldier, and no one is a civilian. So why are there civilian footprints in the garden?" And the king was astounded. So he summoned the lame man and the blind man. And he asked the blind man, "Did you not come down into the garden?" But the blind man replied, "Who, me, Lord? You see my handicap. You know that I cannot see where I walk." Then approaching the lame man, the king also asked them, "Did you come into my garden?" And answering, he said, "O Lord, do you wish to embitter my soul over my handicap?" And finally the judgment was delayed. When then did the righteous judge do? What then did the righteous judge do? Realizing in what manner the two had joined together, he put the lame man on the blind man and examined them both under the lash. And they were unable to deny it. They each convicted the other. The lame man on the one hand said to the blind man, "Did you not pick me up and carry me?" And the blind man said to the lame man, "Did you yourself not become my eyes?"